All right, today we are looking at subtracting decimals. We're continuing to work with our big idea that knowing what numbers mean and knowing what decimal numbers mean specifically will help us to solve problems. Subtracting with decimals is not very different from adding with decimals. It's the same basic idea. You still have to line up your decimal point or your place value positions and work that way. All right, so in your Connect section, here we have St. John's, Newfoundland, that gets an average of 3.22 meters, or 3 22 of a meter, of snow each year. Halifax, Nova Scotia, gets 2.61 meters, or 2 61 of a meter of snow each year. How much more snow does St. John's get than Halifax? How much more means subtracting, so we're going to have to subtract those two. Again, we're going to look at a number of strategies. Here we are using base 10 blocks as the first strategy again. Here we have 3 ones, 2 tenths, and 2 hundredths. And for Halifax, we have 2 ones, 6 tenths, and 1 hundredth. So we're removing the blocks that are the same. So we've got 2 here that are the same, so we get rid of those. Here we've got 2 the same, so we get rid of those. Here we've got 1 the same, we get rid of those. And then we look at what's left. All right, so now with what's left, we do our regrouping. So we're going to take our flat and break it into our 10 rods. And again here we are getting rid of the ones that are the same, so we are left with a total of 6 tenths and 1 hundredth. We need to put a 0 in front. And here again we have a similar model, a similar method with base 10 blocks on a place value mat. And in this case she just put the, she put the 3.22 on the mat, and then she was supposed to take away 2 and 6 tenths and 1 hundredth. So she's trying to take away 2 here, but she has to do some regrouping in order to make that happen. Or the 6 here, she has to do some regrouping in order to make that happen. The 2s she can get rid of. So she's taking those 2s away. She has to do some regrouping here in order to make this happen. So she switches one flat into the rods, and she has to take 6 of them away. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think that's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. Okay, so she's left with 3 there. And 2. Did I count that right? Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 1 too many taken away there, sorry. So there's 4 here and 2 here, which makes a total of 6 there. We've got rid of 1 there because we had to take 1 from there, and so we're left with 0.61. This works a little better, I think, than the other strategy with both numbers set out. Students, when they're using base 10 blocks, do find this one generally more successful. And then, of course, they don't really show you this strategy, but again, this is the one that we're most familiar with, and it's regular subtraction algorithm method. We line up our numbers according to place value and or decimal place. We subtract. 2 take away 2 is 2 take away 1. Sorry, is 1. My mistake. 2 take away 6 you can't do, we have to borrow. This becomes 2, this becomes 12. 12 take away 6 is 6. 2 minus 2 is nothing. We're left with 0.61. So, of course, just wanted to review that method, since that, of course, is the method that most of you are familiar with. Then it goes into here that you can use, oh, I guess I can't erase that. You can use addition to double check. So if you take your answer and you add what you took away, you should come back with your top larger answer. Of course, remember when you're using subtraction, you have to have the top number be the larger number. Many of you tend to forget that part, so make sure you're remembering that. And then you can add to check your answer. And we're going to just use number 1 as our check. We don't have to use base 10 blocks. We can use whatever strategy we prefer. 7.8 minus 2.3 and so on. So go ahead and do A, B, C, and D using whichever strategy you prefer for subtraction. Make sure that you are doing it on paper and it is not a choice. You must do the practice. Go ahead and press pause and do the practice now. All right, let's take a look. 8 take away 3 would be 5. Bring down the decimal. 7 take away 2 would be 5. 5 decimal 5. 6 decimal 7 and 3 decimal 8. Subtract. 7 from 8 we can't do, so we're going to borrow. Makes that 5. 17. 17 minus 8 is 9. Bring down our decimal. 5 minus 3 is 2. Alright, I'm going to try one with base 10 blocks. Probably should have tried one of the other ones. They were smaller, but oh well. And I'm going to use the takeaway method because I don't really like the other one at all. So I'm going to have 9 whole shapes, or flats, I guess. So there's my 9. I have 3 rods. Then I have 5 little ones. Now I'm going to take some away. I have to take 4 away. 1, 2, 3, 4, gone. I have to take 2 away, 2 gone. I have to take 6 away, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I have 1 more, so that means this one has to get split into little guys. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and I need to take 1 of those away. So I am left with here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, wait a minute. 9, because I should have made this into 10 and taken 1 away, so I should be left with 9 here. I have none here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 down here. 5 decimal 09. Alright, and the last one I'm going to use algorithm method again, as that is the most popular. I remember to put my bigger number on the top, my smaller number on the bottom. Key here is I have to borrow. 2 take away 7 I can't do, so I'm going to have to borrow. I have to make this 5. 2 becomes 12. 12 take away 7 is 5. 5 minus 0 is 5. Bring down my decimal. 0 take away 4 I can't do, so I'm going to borrow. That becomes 1. This becomes 10. 10 take away 4 is 6. 6 decimal 55. All right, you are moving on to your concept practice, page 208, numbers 2, 4, 5, and 7, subtracting decimal numbers, using whichever strategy you prefer. And here's the decimal questions, numbers 2 to 4. And there's question number 5. I'm going to just get that out of the way there. And 6. And here's your second page, 7 to 11. 12 and 13, and the reflect prompt. As always, if you have questions as you go, please make sure to ask.